I wrote 500 words blog for him. Let's say one blog for 500 words. I got 50 rupees. And I remember that exactly was because I wrote 10 blocks for him, which is 50 rupees into 10. So I got that old 500 rupees note. And as soon as I got that, I bought a family pack ice cream. And I and my roommate did a party. So the pay rate was point 0.1, maybe 10 paisa per word. And honestly, unfortunately, sadly, it has not shifted. I mean, the inflation is going way above our head, but the price rate or the per word paisa or has not increased so much.
Bhavik Sarkhedi, our guest today, started off his career as a mechanical engineer and is now one of India's top content writers and digital marketer. He turned his childhood passion for writing into a successful writing and marketing business. He's officially recognized as one of the top content writers by Google. He's already written 4 books, and today we talk about all of it. We talk about pursuing writing, the trends, his writing process, dealing with the famous writer's block, the new skills essential for a newbie in this field, and much more. So hit that subscribe button and the post notification bell and sit back, relax, and enjoy today's podcast. Hey Bhavik, welcome on to the Career Show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and being here with us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Trishank.
So, everyone who's watching this, everyone who knows what Right is, your company, knows that you guys are very good at it and you guys have been awarded for the same as well. So let's get started off by talking about how you got started in writing. Was it freelancing? Because I came to know that you did some post for Huffington Post, Ink 42. Is that how you started off in writing, or was it way before that?
No. It was really way before that. I would start with age 9 actually. My PIA gave me personal diary to write on. So I did not know I had this passion for writing, or was I even good at writing. But then I started to write the usual daily routine. We had this slam book and personal diary writing where we used to mention what happened today, who I'll be in the future, or what I'll do. So I started writing personal diary, and it started from age 9, 10, 11, and now I have 15 personal diary writing. Slowly and gradually, I came to know that I am really good in expressing, but in the form of writing only. And then I started blogging with Soup for the Soul name. It was an inspiration from the chicken soup for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the domain soupforthesoul.co.in. Then I started blogging. Then people told me that I guess you should have your own authority. Then I bought bhaviksarkhedi.com, and it all started from then. So currently, if you see, bhaviksarkhedi.com has more than 600 blogs. I write on anything. I love philosophy, psychology, fiction, and digital marketing. So mostly the blogs are in these genres only. Then I started to do guest posting. Guest posting is something in which an author contributes to other website or magazine or blogs. So
Mm-hmm.
if Trishank has a blog, and if I want to write on his blog, it would be a guest posting. So I approach Huffington Post, Entrepreneur, Your Story, INC42, Tech in Asia, E27, and many more. And I guess more than 35 magazines has Bhavik Sarkhedi under the name. So it all started with that personal diary writing, and I have this in my cupboard there. So it's always for the inspiration to see if I stop writing, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
generally. I write for a living, and it's my passion. So
Wow, 15 personal diaries. I wish I had that many too. But would you say that those personal diaries have helped you develop the skills required for writing?
yes, because see, when I read the Bhavik Sarkhedi's writing of age 15, and then I read of age 20, you see a lot of improvement. I mean, when I see Bhavik Sarkhedi of age 9, I would just tear it apart, but I wouldn't because I know. it makes no sense. The writing has no structure. It goes on improving, and as the writer is someone who keeps on improving by writing. Of course, reading is really important, but I guess you keep on writing, and I guess Bhavik Sarkhedi after 5 years will really say, Bhavik, at age 30, were you writing this? So it's all about consistency, and yes, it really helped me a lot.
So someone told you to take authority over your writing. You came up with BhavikSarkhedi.com.
Yeah.
What made you start your business in it? You said writing is your living now. You've started 3 companies.
So again, it goes a way long back. When I
Mhm.
was pursuing my mechanical engineering, I used to write for college newsletters and events, and small things for college, and the professors and the principal knew that I was good at writing, and I had to complete my engineering, and I did. I did 2 years in AMW in Bhuj as a mechanical engineer. But then I thought, I think it's the time, and
Mhm.
I switched to content writing job. So I started to find content writing jobs. I easily found one in Ahmedabad, and it's been 4 years that I did my content writing job as a copywriter or a content creator. During this time, I published 3 books. The fourth one is self-published, and Right came into existence after this duration, after this completion of duration, when I thought now as an agency, I can do really something to cater the businesses and companies, not as an individual solopreneur or a freelancer. So I would say the tag was of freelancer for Bhavik Sarkhedi was until 2019. But then bhaviksarkhedi.com diverted or shifted or got the transition to Right as an agency. So now
Mhm.
people know me as a personal brand or an influencer in content writing because of the bloggings and the writings that I did for big magazines and for myself as well. But Right as an agency, it's only 3 to 4 years. And since writing has different verticals, everything and anything has content writing in it, be it
Mhm.
newspaper or newsletters, online, offline, brochure, blogs, website, everywhere you see its content. So I created 2 different verticals, e-storytellers and telltale, to dive into different verticals of content writing. Right is like a parent, and e-storytellers and telltale are the subsidiaries.
Wow. Wow. Let's talk about the different kinds of content because that's the reason you started 2 subsidiaries. You have done content writing, you have written books. What is your favorite kind of genre to write in? How can one find their genre of writing for themselves?
Okay, so personally, as I already mentioned, my favorite genres are philosophy and psychology. I love writing about it. I love reading about it.
Mhm.
My favorite website is psychologytoday.com.
Mhm.
Every day there are new surveys about human behavior. Every day there are conclusions about who we are and what goes in our human mind. So if you understand the human behavior, you understand everything, right? Be it in any field.
Mhm.
And finding my genre was I explored different genres or niche in reading. So it's like
Mhm.
I can give you an analogy or an example with if you don't know where you are good at, you will have to try different things to know that okay, this gives me goosebumps. Okay, so I read biology, I read maybe botany, philosophy, psychology, entertainment, technology, and then it came to me that okay, I think I love reading about it, so probably and possibly I'll mostly be really good in writing about it. And finding a
Mhm.
genre is, I would say, it's not difficult, but yeah, it takes time because you'll have to explore it.
Mhm.
And it is really necessary. People tell me that cryptocurrency or Bitcoin and these are really trending topics. Why don't you write about it? And I say I'm not interested in even reading about it. So yes, this makes a huge difference if you explore it.
Mhm.
Finding a niche will come into effect if you read more.
But let's also talk about now since you have such a big client base.
you keep getting so many different inquiries. Every
Yes,
content type is different.
different. It's
What do you
really.
do then? What do you do then when it's something of not your interest?
Actually, as I said, if the client base is concerned, we have different writers, and 25 writers are because of different genres.
Mm.
So five are technology writers, five are health writers, three are really good in entertainment section.
Mm-hmm.
So we have proofreaders, we have editors. So when I think I'm not really good at this niche or genre, I will pass it on to the operations or the business development team to get into it. Luckily, actually, information technology is one of the highest business giving content to us,
Mm-hmm.
and I am really good in it because as a content writer, I worked for 4 years in technology companies. So
Mm.
70% of clients are technology related. So mostly I would take the calls.
You've been mentioning that you have a team of 25 people. Let's talk about how you went about building that team of writers. Like, do you want to talk about how can one network with writers? Because I've usually seen that writers have a strong community among themselves. So how do you network and get into these communities?
See, my favorite network is LinkedIn. Honestly, it's one of
Mm-hmm.
the best platform that anyone can have to network, and I have used it very well. With 9,000 plus followers, I
Mm-hmm.
post on LinkedIn. I text each and every one of them whom I find interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
text them. I call them if they are interested in joining Right or as a freelancer or want to start working with us, because every writer, be it copywriter, content writer, blog writer, or a technical writer, or a storyteller, or any content creator like you, they have their own specialty, they have their own niche, and everyone is different. You learn different things from different writers, even from the freshers. Some are even interns. So
Mm-hmm.
I connect via LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
directly.
I mean, I completely agree, right? LinkedIn is how we connect us as well. LinkedIn is how we're doing this podcast. So yeah, LinkedIn is definitely a super awesome tool. But now let's change gears and let's talk about your writing process. Uh, Writing can be really difficult for a lot of people. To have a process is super important. What is your process of writing?
My process is really simple. As I've already mentioned, the benefits or the love for reading, I would just dive deep into what all has been written. If you tell me, Bhavik, what are the latest trends in digital marketing, I can, tell it in minutes because I've written many things about digital writing, and that's because I read really good articles in Forbes, INC, Huffington Post, Fortune India, and every good magazines or blogs which write consistently about digital marketing, and those are senior authors or editors with 20 plus years of experience, so they know the industries. That's really important. When it's also important, what all things do you read? See,
Mhm.
because of SEO, any blog can rank on the first page, right?
Mhm. Correct.
So when you Google digital marketing trends in 2021, it may be possible that Forbes or inc.com, which are really good sites, are not ranking, and they are not actually because of really good SEO by experts. So I cannot read the first page of Google and start writing. I'll have to dive deep into the expert content, right?
Mhm.
Forbes may not be in the first two pages, but that doesn't mean the content is not good. Maybe we
Correct.
can say the SEO is not. So we should have that fixed. I wouldn't say fixed, but at least a variable set of blogs or magazines or website that we can go through consistently,
Mhm.
and that's where the writing starts. So you read good writing, so you
Mhm.
know something, and then you start writing. So in the first draft, I would say it's all trash, but it's okay.
Mhm.
The trash is
Mhm.
good, and it would be 500 words. So you reread it, you
Mhm.
rewrite it, and with 2 to 3 churnings, it can come to a good conclusion, a pre-final version.
Mhm.
You can give it to the editor, and they'll know, because the editor is specifically for that purpose only, because you have read that version 3 to 4 times. Now you wouldn't be
Stuck in
able
your
to
head.
edit it. Yeah, it's all in your head. You think it's the perfect version, but that's not the
Mhm.
perfect version. And then after rereading, rewriting, and no, it comes.
Mhm. Super interesting. But I have a fun question for you. Uh, do you wait for the deadlines to complete your task, or are you way ahead of the game? What kind of a person are you?
I wouldn't boast myself. I am not really a procrastinator. I seriously do things punctually. I like it actually. I like it that way. Even sometimes I'm way ahead of the deadlines. I don't know. I guess it's a habit.
Talking about habits, what happens when you can't find the inspiration to write on a particular topic, or when you feel stuck even after doing your research?
That's really a good question for any writers because you must have heard the word writer's block, right?
Yes,
And every
yes.
writer gets it after a certain amount of writing because the process is really monotonous. Can you understand?
Mhm,
This is like waking up, writing, researching, reading. I mean, and the writer's block can be avoided or ignored or overcome by different things. For me personally, I watch Netflix. That
mhm,
may sound ridiculous, but Netflix, not movies or any web series, but I see documentaries. Uh,
mhm,
I want inspiration from the expert directors or script writers on how they document a particular things. You see, it's an ocean of documentaries in Netflix or even if you Google. That is a specific genre which I really like. 10 years later, if I'm not handling right, I will be a script writer for sure. So
mhm,
inspiration is something which, if I am not doing this, what other things will I be doing? And that's script
mhm.
writing. That's why the documentaries and script writing.
Talking about the monotonous process you just mentioned about, a lot of times your writing tends to become the same. So you're writing about the same thing. So your writing can end up becoming the same. What is your thoughts on that? And is that the reason you started two different subsidiaries to have two different types of content?
Exactly. You got it right. You have to switch. Maybe if not permanent, for a temporary basis, you have to switch. If I'm writing X topic or a Y topic for let's say 2 months, I'll have to switch to the Z topic in order to get the change. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why the subsidiaries, because content writing, blog writing, and website content, these three genres were with right. But then I explored that it's going monotonous, even with the clients as well as with our writers. So
Mm-hmm.
e-storytellers and Telltale are mostly into educational content, academic content,
Mm-hmm.
resume writing, cover letters. And then I came into a realization that I think I did a good thing.
When you're done with X, when you're done with write, you go to storytellers. When you're done with, and then you go to telltale.
And these are totally different verticals. See, resume
Mm-hmm.
writing, if you are a resume writer, you wouldn't be even a blog writer.
Mm-hmm.
There are people, there are freelancers, there are agencies that just deals with resume writing.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
They don't do content or blog or website or anything.
Interesting, man. Interesting. And I mean, you're doing a great job with going all out and having three subsidiaries. Let's move on and let's talk about how I feel that writers are underappreciated and underpaid as well. Do you agree with me?
Till date, writing community is underrated. We don't get proper salary as a freelancer or a full time. As an agency, the negotiation goes to a level I feel sometimes demotivated or discouraged. I don't have any solution for that currently, but I constantly look out for that solution, that particular solution for every writers in the world. That the pay is not good.
Mhm.
The pay is not good.
You mentioned you don't have a solution for it yet. Do you want to talk about how that negotiation process goes for you? How that negotiation process is like? Where do you see that dead end happening? And maybe someone over there hears it out and reaches out to you.
The solution can be a platform. Let's say Upwork is a platform. Okay, so freelancers come to Upwork to find work. Businesses come to Upwork to find freelancers. If you are directly in contact with the agency or the company, the negotiation can be good. And Upwork is famous because of that flexibility and reliability.
Mhm.
So there are no such platforms for content creators, especially because Upwork is really famous for those who are developers of in graphic designing and any technical industries or fields. But if there are platforms for writers or creators or storytellers specifically, we as a writers community can get the confidence and the motivation that okay, now even we can directly find good amount of work or quality clients directly. What's happening right now is, as a freelancer, if I'm starting today and I'm setting up xyz.com as a writer, it would be really difficult for me to find clients. One thing. Second, if I find, the client would be paying me pennies, not even dollars. Okay. So what happens is, as an individual, you don't grow. So you join a company as a full-time career, and that's where your growth stops, right? The
Mhm.
growth that you can get individually as a solopreneur or maybe as a freelancer with full freedom is not something which you can get joining the organization. Of course, it happened with me because I was a mechanical engineer for 2 years, and so I had to come to a full-time writing job in order to get
Mhm.
myself out. But when I
Mhm.
knew I'm already out, I left,
Mhm.
and I
Correct.
left big time.
Talking about clients, you mentioned how difficult it can be to get your first client. Let's talk about how you got your first client. Do you still
Oh,
remember that
yeah,
process?
honestly, I still remember because I was living with one of my roommates. He is one of my best friends today. We were discussing about the final year exam of third year, like third year. So it was 2013, and I was a writer known in my college only. So let's say I was in Rajkot, which is in Gujarat, and people knew me, students knew me as a casual writer. But I got a call from my friend's friend.
Mhm.
Okay, his name was Akshay Makadia. Okay,
Mhm.
he's really popular guy today. Akshay Makadia is an SEO expert today, and he is my good friend. So he called me that Bhavik, one of your friend's friend gave me your number.
Mhm.
Do you write content? And I said, I have not tried professionally. And
Mhm.
I still remember the pay rate. You wouldn't believe it, but let me tell you. I wrote 500 words blog for him. Let's say one blog for 500 words. I got 50 rupees. And I remember that exactly was because I wrote 10 blocks for him, which is 50 rupees into 10. So I got that old 500 rupees note. And as soon as I got that, I bought a family pack ice cream, and I and my roommate did a party.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so the pay rate was point 0.1, maybe 10 paisa per word. And honestly, unfortunately, sadly, it has not shifted. I mean, the inflation is going way above our head, but the price rate or the per word pesa or has not increased so much,
Mhm.
and that's a sad thing. So if I am as a freelancer doing something, I get 50 paisa per word to 1.5 Indian rupees per word, which is really less because
Mhm.
I see writers in US and UK and Canada, they charge in Indian rupees 7 to 8 Indian rupees per word.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Well, well, first up, that first client story is just simply wholesome. But but let's talk about the difference between writers in India and abroad. Do you ever see yourself expanding your business to to the US and the UK since the pay rate is way better over there?
We always try to find, we would say, US clients, but it's the other way around.
Mm,
Okay, so let me tell you one thing. You as a US client want to have a blog written. Okay,
mhm,
would you prefer 7 to 8 Indian rupees per word or 50 paisa per word? So we get US and UK clients, but with a tendency or the mindset of less Indian rupees per word.
So do you think negotiation tactics is super important in this case?
It is super important because whenever, just like every other business, if a client is approaching you, they have already approached five other agencies or five other
Mm,
clients or five other vendors. It's all about who talks good, whose portfolio is better, and of course, the best rates. So these are the three really good factors that I think matters a lot. Of course, the portfolio, even if the rates are really less or low, but the portfolio is not good, you won't be able to
mhm,
crack the client. Second,
mhm,
the coordination, the communication, the first Zoom call, the first Skype call with the teams, and you get an idea. It's like a first impression, right? You talk about your
mhm.
company, they talk about their company.
Since we are on the topic of the future, let's talk about the future of right. What do you have in mind? What do you have in mind for yourself? Do you see yourself expanding into another genre as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right is actually expanding.
Mhm,
Every month we receive more than 100 inquiries from writers to join as a freelancer or a full-time or part-time writers.
mhm,
But simultaneously, or on the other side, we also have to increase the client base to hire the freelancer or the writers.
correct.
So we work currently mostly to acquire new clients, and the lead generation and business development team is on it since last 6 months. The more we get the work, the more we can hire freelancers and writers, and it's ongoing. I guess in next 5 years, I am pretty sure right will be at least a major content writing agency in India, at least in top five.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck for that. I wish to see you grow. Let's talk about what kind of genres are you thinking of expanding into? Do you want to get into fictional writing as well? Before we started this call, you mentioned that you loved reading fictional books. Do you
Yes,
wanna do you wanna divulge into that genre of writing as well for right?
yes, that fits under the category of creative writing,
Mm-hmm.
or I would say script writing or copywriting,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the ultimate genre that I'm willing to dive into and explore because right from the advertisement that you see every day, from YouTube videos that you get as when you click the skip button, everywhere the content is creative content, which is not the longer form of content, but it hits you. Alpenlibe, Jilal Chahe Rana Chahe, Thumbs Up, Taste the Thunder. Those are copywriting, those are creative things. Creative writing, in which it's a really concise and short form of content. And generally, advertising agency are into this form of content, not
Correct.
particularly any writing agency.
Well, I hope to see you get there. I have one last question for you before I let you go, and that is there any one advice you wish you had received before you started your journey?
Uh, Honestly, if I ask myself, I can think of the time when I did full-time job. I was scared that I may not be able to find work individually, so I waited like for 4 years, and I did full-time and cater or gave my writing to
Other people.
organizations and company. But I think I should have been more early. You don't have to be afraid. You can really find writing tasks, jobs, and in a better way. Technology is really growing. There are so many platforms available for writers today. Via LinkedIn, even you can. So I should have joined right as an organization, or maybe started
Started.
it really early.
You're now you're doing great work. You guys have received a lot of recognition.
Yes.
And I want to wish you the very best of luck. And with that, thank you so much, Bhavik, for coming onto the Career Show and sharing your journey with us.
I'm really glad I shared everything.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did.
I hope you enjoyed this week's career discussion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means a lot.